Hi!
Hi there.
We're Wheelingit.
I'm Paul.
I'm Nina, and we're going to do another very exciting video today. We are going to talk about transfer switches.
Automatic transfer
switches in an RV. Now the reason we're here today is actually we had not planned at all on doing anything about transfer switches, but
yeah, this started with a upgrade of our surge protector,
right, and
which led to a discovery of a faulty,
faulty,
to go bad automatic transfer switch. So
yeah, actually we might have been close to a fire, so we're going to show you that a little later on. But all this led to the fact that we have to replace our transfer switch entirely. And today what we're going to go through is a little bit about what is an automatic transfer switch. Is very basic stuff. How do you know if they go bad, and how do you choose a replacement, and then hopefully we're going to video some of the installation when we do that tomorrow.
Yeah, and some details on the replacement. There's
right.
Some little idiosyncrasies to look out for.
So
so what is
Paul?
Oh, me? Okay.
What is a transfer switch?
Yeah, what is a transfer switch? So a transfer switch is an electronic device, okay, that chooses your source of AC input power into your RV or trailer. All right, so if you have a RV with a generator built in, you probably have an automatic transfer switch. So it will choose whether to take AC input from your generator or your shore power, and it prioritizes the generator. So if your generator's on, it'll choose AC input power from your generator. If it's not, it will default. It will go to the shore power input, and that's your 50 amp. That's your 120 volt AC input into your rig, whether it be 50 or 30 or 15 amps, whatever it may be. That's basically what they do.
Yeah, I just select between your two inputs. This is all your AC stuff. It has nothing to do with the DC side of your coach. And like Paul mentioned, they're automatic. They tend to be automatic in Class A's. You can get manual types where you manually have to switch the input, but in all Class A's, it's pretty much automatic.
You'll see those more on trailers.
Right. Or people with portable generators, for example, that need to physically plug in. And that's pretty much what it does. It just makes it all easy. You never have to think. If you turn on your generator, that powers all your stuff. You don't have your generator on, the shore powers all your stuff, and assuming you're hooked up.
Right.
So that's pretty much it.
Pretty much it. Okay.
So the next part is how they go bad. Well, there's multiple ways they can go bad. You could have kind of a low voltage situation that causes a high current inside the transfer switch that causes arcing and
so if you get, for example,
things to melt and bond together. You want to say ohmic heating, don't you?
No, I will say ohmic heating, but you have a lot of power going through there. So when basically it's a piece of metal that moves back and forth, a piece of copper. So they can mechanically fail. So the contacts can become stuck. Or with a lot of current switching, they become pitted. The metal actually pits, and so that will fail. If you have a low voltage situation, that means you're getting more current through those wires than it's probably rated for, so you could melt some of the plastic. That's what happened to us, and you'll see that here in a little bit.
We're going to show you here in a little bit.
So there's a few points of failure there, and it's pretty obvious when it fails.
Yeah, generally speaking, one of your inputs, like either you're on shore power and that's not working but your generator's working, or the other way around, that's a good way to know if they're failing.
Or at least let's go look at it anyway.
Yeah, at least go look at it. You should actually check them periodically to just check all the contacts are solid in the way they should be.
Yeah, the most common problem I would say would be the wires just come loose. So go in there once in a while and take a screwdriver and tighten those screws so you can get proper contact, lower resistance, and no ohmic heating.
All right, nice. And a word of warning here, we are not electricians, and if you're not an electrician, do be careful. 120 volt AC can kill you. You do not want to work on these things unless you know what you're doing or you're with someone who knows what they're doing.
And shut off power.
And shut off
your RV
everything. Disconnect everything before you do anything in there. So just that word of warning. But with that said, let's go look at our disaster. Right.
All right, so we just killed power to the RV. We shut off the breakers, and Nina's here. Our transfer switch is in our rear bay here on the, I always get these confused.
Left side?
Drive side, road side. Yeah. Okay, so all right, let's go in the bin and check it out. I already had the cover off here. So we have an IOTA ITS 50R automatic transfer switch. IOTA, I believe, is out of business, and they had a recall on these.
Yeah, a lot of old Holiday Ramblers and Monacos had these IOTA engineering switches, and these are now known as being garbage, or at least you'll see on the forums a lot of people have failures with these. I would actually recommend, if you have one, to check it out or replace it.
Yeah, they did recall them because of failures.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it. So anyway, this is where the transfer switch is, okay? And this is shore power coming into the RV down here, and it comes into the middle here. And we have generator power and whatever, generator power, and then the output to the RV, okay? And you can see there's some, in our old transfer switch, there's some melting that has gone on in there. So you can see some corrosion, and I don't know if you can see the plastic, but the plastic is actually melted back there.
Yeah, this was pretty scary when we found it. We actually smelt it before we saw it. We smelt burning back here, and then when Paul opened up the transfer switch, this is what we found. This could have become potentially a very dangerous situation, so we're glad we caught it. And if you see something similar to this, at least you'll know what you're looking at now.
Yeah, and this green wire here, actually, this ground wire, green is ground, was sitting on top of this hot wire here, and the hot wire had gotten, the current had gotten so hot that the sheet, the coating, protective layer started to melt through, and it was about to short through. So that would not have been a good situation. And you can see in the back of the box, actually, and I'll show you here, you can see inside the box what was going on here. So once we discovered that,
look at this.
It was time to replace the switch.
Okay, so here's the replacement box that we're going to use. This is made by Light Power Systems, and it is a LPT50BRD.
Yeah, I think the company's Elkhart Engineering, what it's sold under. I think that's who I bought it from.
And there's a couple of reasons we chose this box. First of all, it gets really good reviews, and a lot of people that have Monacos or Holiday Ramblers, they replace their old switch with this one.
Yeah, this is almost the exact same form factor.
Exactly, it's almost the exact same size.
Even a little thinner than the IOTA.
Right, and if you look inside our system here, you can see we have very limited space in where we can, this is our reel, and we have just very limited space here in which we can replace this. And this should be a perfect fit with a bit of luck.
Yeah, size was a big issue, and also the location of where the AC cables come in and out. So if you can see in here, I'm sorry. So I have the shore, generator, and output to the coach are all on the same side of the transfer switch. All right.
And if you look at our new box, you'll see that we have the opportunity to do that. From one side.
A lot of transfer switches, for example, like the surge guards that you'll see out there, they're number one, much larger, which we couldn't fit. And also they'll have the inputs on the top of the box and the output at the bottom of the box, which you can install even if you have the space, but you may have to rewire and put a junction box for your AC. It can get kind of complicated. So in general, what makes it easier to install, the better.
And now the other thing, when you're choosing a transfer switch, now this one is nice and solid, it's a metal box. It's not critical that it has to be a metal box, but we liked the fact that this was a metal box. It has to be rated for the max current that's going to go through it. It has to be a 50 amp if your coach is 50 amp.
Right.
So that's something else to look for. And yeah, basically just choose a good quality, good rated one. I mean, other good manufacturers are Parallax is another one.
I really like the Parallax one. It
right,
seemed very
we just
sturdy.
couldn't fit it.
It was too big.
Yeah, and also actually SurgeGuard now, they make transfer switches and they make integrated transfer and surge guard.
Surge protectors.
Surge protectors.
But they're huge.
But they're huge, and we couldn't fit one of those either. But it's nice to have the option to integrate. Cost-wise, do you remember what this cost?
Good question. Maybe I'll put it in the video. I think it was 200.
Yeah, I want to say it was around the 200.
$200
The integrated versions run more like 650, 700.
Yeah, I like the separate versions, and I can talk about that in the EMS video. But the EMS is a sacrificial device, and it's meant to fail. So we'll get to that and why I like the discrete versions.
So that's pretty much it for the preamble. So let's
and we'll
see how we install them.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Saturday morning, and we have got our friend Mike, who is right there. He is a certified RV tech. Although Paul is pretty comfortable working around electricity, we wanted to bring in a pro. He does this part-time.
3 days, it'll take him like 3 hours.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It'll probably take him, a couple of hours, whereas it'll take us maybe a few days. We will give out his contact details in the video and in the blog notes, so that if you're in the area of Margate, Florida, you can look him up. But yeah, we are looking forward to this. He's gotten right into it. Obviously, we have power to the coach off. And yeah, he's already removing the old stuff.
And we'll look at wire links and make sure we can make the runs.
Okay, this is a quick video of the 2 transfer switches, the old one, which is out now, and the new one that we're about to put in.
So you can see it's about the same size. The new one's just slightly bigger. You got a little more room to work with the wires. Big difference here. This has a metal, basically bus bar or holding for the contactor inputs, and this is plastic in the backing. So this all melted and rose as this heated. So that wasn't good. So that was some of the burnt plastic smell that we smelled.
So yeah, this should be much nicer.
And the grounds are separated over here, whereas the grounds here are part of the thing. So just a little different design. This seems a little more robust.
And it is very nicely laid out, and there are even torque specifications in here for exactly how tight to tighten everything. So yeah, it's looking good.
Okay. So we're getting ready to install the transfer switch, doing some wiring.
That was not planned.
That was not planned. So the AC wires coming into the bay we're actually in different positions for the new box. So the load used to be on top, and now the load's at the bottom of the box. So Mike had to pull out the AC wires and put them back in different holes.
Yeah, and they're in own little individual holes, and they're practically impossible to get off.
So this is what makes installation hard.
Yeah. So what Mike is doing now is just putting in an extra little length of 50 amp wire.
And so we're wiring from the, this wire will go from the output of the EMS to the input of the transfer switch, because we're putting the EMS before the transfer switch.
Right.
Doing the wiring beforehand, so saying you just install it, not wire after everything's installed. Spaces are a lot tighter.
And he's using a nice flexible piece of 50 amp wire, and yeah, that's it.
All right, so the transfer switch installation is done. There she is, the LPT50BRD. Everything's working great. I tested the inputs, the generator and the shore power. It switches, it works great. And here you can see we squashed it over towards the wall. Actually, coach input on this switch comes into the top, the generator input in the middle, and the coach load at the bottom. So it's a different order than the old switch, and that's why you saw us redoing the order of the wires. Well, actually Mike was doing that. So yeah, she's working great, and in combination with this little bad boy there, the surge protector, which you'll see in the next video, looks good. We're quite happy. All right, so that concludes the automatic transfer switch installation. I hope you liked it.
Yeah, we've been running with the new transfer switch for a few days. Nothing to report, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Should be transparent.
Works on generator, works on shore power, works the way we expect, no smells, and no humming noise at all. It is a very, very quiet switch. It's one of the things we liked about it. But basically, everything is A-okay.
All right, and then the next video, make sure to watch the next one if you're interested in the surge protector, the EMS from Progressive Industries.
Coming soon.
That'll be next up.
Okay,
all right, see you down the road.